Hello and welcome along to another episode of Robin and Jane in the Stalls. And this week we've been back to one of our favourite little theatre spaces, the Sanctuary Theatre in East Belfast, home of the Bright Umbrella Theatre Company. And we were there to see David Ireland's kind of controversial play, Ulster American. And Jane, this play does come, before you watch it, with plenty of warnings. Warnings of strong language, graphic violence, and references of sexual assault as well. So already, before you go in, you're warned of what's going to happen.
Yes, you sense that it's going to be offensive from the beginning. And from David Ireland, we'd expect nothing less. I think it was Sartre who said that hell is other people. And I think these three characters seem to have located hell in this play, really. We've got Jay, the American movie star who never travels anywhere without his Oscar and his attitudes. We've got Lee, the rather repressed theatre director. And we've got Ruth, the playwright, who is fiercely British and not Irish. Thank you very much. And the trouble is, one of the problems is that Jay thinks he's coming over to do an Irish American play because that's what Ireland means in America in certain circles, particularly in showbiz circles. And of course, that's wrong. And there's a great disappointment there. There is a brief love-in between Ruth and Jay, actually, before she realizes that he's not going to do the play. But before all that, we do indeed get a hellish introduction with the two men. And conversationally, Jay says to Lee, do you ever use the N-word? Maybe when you're drunk. And this is an ex-alcoholic speaking. So that tells you where you're at. And there is also some detail about whether rape is ever morally acceptable. Of course, the answer is no, but it's more complicated in the play. In spite of all this, and this is incredible, this shows you what a great playwright, in a way, David Ireland is, these two men delude themselves, and maybe Lee is less delusional about this than Jay, that they're feminists. But they're faux feminists, and they end up ganging up on Ruth and trying to silence her, really, because her play is not what at least one of them wanted, possibly both of them. I found it strangely compelling. What about you?
Well, certainly when it comes to the themes revolving around Northern Ireland and the whole British and Irish things, it's stuff that we can relate to. But you would be surprised that a play that deals with those issues could actually take this worldwide appeal, because we know it went to the West End. It ended up with Woody Harrelson playing the American actor and Andy Serkis in this as well. So, I mean, this is a huge hit, not just here in Northern Ireland, but everywhere else.
It's very interesting because David Ireland has said that he believes that when you're your most parochial, you're actually at your most universal, because individual human instincts and needs and questions, and in this case it's about cultural identity, they do oddly cross borders because people are concerned about their identity in lots of parts of the world, I guess. So you can relate to that in your town, in your city, in your country, as well as here. But I thought the identity thing was done very well. There's a very harrowing speech that Ruth makes, which is really almost in defense of UVF, saying they were their last line of defence against the IRA during the Troubles, and even name-checking the Shankill butchers. And that was horrific, but actually it was also educational, I have to say, in a way.
And when you think of the amount of themes and issues they touch on during the show, and it's only 75 minutes long as well, you know, it really zips through at a fast pace and covers a hell of a lot.
It covers a lot of ground, even including the dear old Brexit.
Yeah.
Yes. And Ruth, of course, voted for Brexit, and that takes her off Lee's Christmas card list because he's a wishy-washy, theatrical, lovey liberal, of course. I found it very interesting. The acting, I thought, at the beginning was a bit slow, if I'm honest. I thought Caroline Curran, who builds a truly great performance as Ruth, and it's a harrowing part for her to play. I think she was a little bit speedy at the beginning. She could slow down a little bit, and the others could maybe speed up. And I wasn't quite sure about Jay's American accent always, I have to be honest. But having said that, by the end, one was absolutely gripped. Well, one was gripped throughout by the play, of course. And the ending is an incredible bloody denouement, which I won't say what it is. I won't do my usual spoiler alert.
But it did leave us sitting, me and you sat in the auditorium after the show and just thought about things. I mean, it does leave you wondering and thinking about what you've just
It
seen.
leaves you pondering what you've just seen, wondering what it's all about. Well, it's all about Protestant identity. That's what David Ireland's plays are usually about, one way and another. And this one is no exception. But it leaves you questioning that in a new way. And of course, he wrote it in a flat just across the road from the theatre.
Exactly, yeah. It does, as we said, it leaves us wondering, it leaves us thinking as well. And I suppose it leaves us slightly traumatised. I think the last time I felt this way from a piece of theatre was Martin McDonagh's The Pillow Man.
Yes, I think you're right. It does leave one feeling slightly traumatised, slightly squeamish in a way. And if you are squeamish, beware, because this is full on drama, full on tragedy, ultimately, you would have to say.
There is some laugh out loud moments in the play as well. Now it's very dark humour.
Yeah. It's very dark humour on the whole, but there's some light stuff too. And at one point, one character says, "Has anybody told Jay that the second A in AA stands for anonymous?" After he makes about the 20th call to his sponsor to report that, oh dear, he's in a flat where wine is being drunk, you know. That was delightful, I thought.
So we must mention Andrew McClay. He plays the part of Jay. You've got James Boal, an actor who I haven't seen before. He plays the English theatre director Lee. And of course you have Caroline Curran playing the playwright Ruth Davenport as well. And I have to say, I mean, it's great to see Caroline move away from her comedy roles, move away from the Maggie Muff roles. And I think when people come to see this, they will see Caroline in a totally different light, and you will appreciate what a fine actress she is.
Oh, no question. She shows she's got great range. And I think this will be the entree to her for lots of different roles. I always say Lady Macbeth will bring it on, you know.
Exactly. Well, yes, I think you're right. I think this will happen. So let's make up our final decisions then on David Ireland's Ulster American. It runs at the Sanctuary Theatre over in East Belfast. It runs through until the 6th of September. Since Jay is an Oscar-winning actor, I think there's only one thing we can vote for, and that's the little Oscars. So we'll start with you, Jane. How many little Oscars for Ulster American?
In spite of the fact that I thought the ending was 4-star, I think overall I'm going to give it 3.5 little Oscars.
Okay, just to make my life difficult as I try to cut an Oscar in half now as well.
Indeed, chop it in half.
Well, it is a play that I think everybody should go and see. It will leave you, as I've said, slightly traumatised as you leave the auditorium, but will leave you with plenty to think about. So I'm going to go for 4 little Oscars for Ulster American. So as we said, you can catch that at the Sanctuary Theatre. It's on until the 6th of September. And it's one of our favourite little theatre spaces, Jane. And of course, it's going to be closing for a short time next year to go through some major refurbishment as well.
So it's going to come back even better. Yes, it is. That would be great.
Exactly, but we look forward to see what's coming next year as well. As always, thank you for watching, thank you for listening, and of course, if you want to get in touch with us, if you've been to see Ulster American, let us know your thoughts. Do you agree with what myself and Jane have to say? And of course, we'll see you back in the stalls sometime very soon.
Goodbye.